Hey guys, it's Steve Maeda and thesexuallife.com is in the house. Yes, this is another training video we have to showcase some of the different learning processes that we have in the Sexual Life Online. So the Sexual Life Online 3-month program, total transformation of self. You're going to be a new person with your sexual and social life, mentally, with your perspective. Also physically, you're going to be the best you can possibly be, and also your personal goals are going to evolve and transform in all sorts of cool ways. Now the cool thing about the Sexual Life Online is it's completely interactive, it's custom. You're going to be working directly with me. There's a huge video series, almost, God man, there's just so much content out there. And there's also workbooks and PDFs that you go through. So it's really interactive, and also an amazing forum where you're going to find out all the crazy secrets. So sign up for it. There's probably just like a few slots left at this point. Okay, so now if you sign up for the Sexual Life Online, you automatically enroll yourself in the World Pass Adventure. Now what that is it's the grand prize giveaway for the person who finds the most improvement. That improvement is actually going to be determined by how you improve with your sexual and social life, also how you improve with your mentality, your focus, your drive, all that good stuff, your health, being the best body you're in, and your personal growth. Now the reason for that is the true path to the ultimate life of dating and seduction all comes from you being the best person. Your sexual and social life is a byproduct, is a result of you actually becoming a better man. All right, so this is really a path for that total transformation here. But the grand prize winner of that gets to go on a 10-day trip with me, and you get your plane ticket bought, all that fun stuff. And it's going to be pretty amazing. It'll be somewhere in the world. It'll be a great time, and I know you are going to be a cool person, because in order to grow on those levels, and it's pretty stacked competition, you're going to be a pretty awesome guy, and you're going to evolve to a pretty awesome guy, an even better guy. So let's get into actually what we're talking about here, because this is actually the good stuff, and we're actually talking about getting sexual. Now, any program that I teach is going to have two main components, right? That is going to be, number one, it's always customized. You are going to learn how to be the best you, all right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're not learning technique that the technique is more powerful than the person who carries the technique. We're absolutely going to learn that stuff, but you are the catalyst for all that. The other main component of what I teach is it's always about getting sexual. Why? Because you need to be sexual. We are meant to be sexual, physical beings. We're not meant to be guys who are looking at stuff online. Women aren't meant to be girls who are just partying in clubs. We are meant to be physical, sexual beings, and the more we're not, the more we're going to be confused about who we are in our entire self of being and how we present that out to the world. So let's actually go over what we got here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, obviously getting sexual is it's part of a 3-month course, and it could be part of even more than that. But why? Well, why is because when you are sexual, you're in your natural state. Okay, so you're the person you are meant to be. Now what I mean by that is when we're exchanging with somebody, and this could be emotionally, this could be purely physically, this could be for same night lays, it could also be for you just meeting a great person, dating a great person, ending up in a relationship, evolving into marriage, multiple long-term relationships, whatever it is. But for you, in order to be the ideal person, your best person that you're really meant to be, you need to be sexual. Your natural state of masculinity is dependent upon exercising that masculinity. And the same goes for women. Their natural state of femininity, which makes them a woman, which makes them a beautiful, awesome sexual being, it needs that sexual catalyst in there. They need to be physically turned on, stimulated, aroused, and fulfilled. And the same thing goes for you. So the quicker you can get sexual, the better. Now, in the Sexual Life Online, what's so interesting about that is you are actually going to be challenged. The first 30 days of the Sexual Life Online, we're going to be focused only on getting you sexual. It's going to be focusing on your identity and you getting sexual. That means you getting sexual experiences. If you haven't had any, you're going to be pushed, man. 30-day challenge. Big time, big time. Not like anything you've ever heard before. All right, so you need to get sexual. Why? Because it'll put you in your natural state as a man. You're not going to be confused. You're going to, I mean, look, when I'm having sexual experiences, I don't wonder about what I should be doing. I don't wonder about how I should be talking to people. I don't wonder about what lines I need to say to get people to like me. It's not even a concept which entertains me. When you are being sexual, you're in your natural state. You can start to effortlessly just show up, experience, have interactions with women. Awesome stuff. Okay, so what is it? What is being sexual? Well, look, being sexual means being turned on. Okay, when am I turned on? When is she turned on? When does this, what parts of my emotions are turned on? What parts of my physicality are turned on? If you're not experiencing those, you need to be experiencing them. Now, being turned on, being aroused is something which is in massive deficit to our culture. We think that in order to be a good man, or however we were taught, and women the same, in order to be a good woman, you know, being turned on is something that we should be afraid of. The quicker we can actually get turned on in a conversation, I'm talking about, I mean, it really, some of you guys know what I'm talking about here, but it really should only take about 1 to 2, 3 minutes for that actual arousal to happen. In fact, the more in touch with it you get, I mean, it's instantaneous. It's right when you meet somebody. And to be honest, things like emotion, sexuality, arousal, but things like turn on, those massive movements, those massive catalysts of man and humanity, it's all the stuff you're going to learn. It's all the stuff you're going to learn. Those things happen in an instant. And what seduction is truly about, and actual communication in general, is what can I do? What is my skill set? Not to create that situation, but when I feel that instant arousal that happens right when I show up and meet somebody, what do I do? So what seduction is really getting to that point of turn on as quick as possible. You're going to get there, but it's more about knowing what to do in that moment. Any major movement of man, that means emotion, inspiration, even fear, anger, all those core emotions, but definitely sexuality, definitely arousal. That all happens in an instant. You're going to know how to see it, and you're going to know how to go and get it. Okay, let's go on to this next thing. Well, where? Anywhere. This is one of the myths that is taught in the dating and seduction industry, is that in order for you to get sexual, you're bound to a certain location or environment. This is not true. Seduction can happen anywhere. Anywhere people are communicating, it's always a sexual experience. So what I mean by that is, for instance, if I'm in a nightclub, it can get sexual. I just need to cultivate the situation in the best area that it can be, which is probably to be alone. If I'm in the daytime, I can absolutely get sexual. I mean, this all should be happening within 2 minutes of an interaction with whoever you're talking to. You should know within that time, absolutely. In fact, if you don't know within that time, you're wasting time. But you should know within that time, is this somebody that turns me on? Are we turned on talking to each other? Are we interacting talking to each other? Like, is this somebody that I want to exchange and appreciate and reflect and grow and evolve my sexuality with? That is a very important thing. It should happen within, that should definitely happen within 2 minutes, but it really is going to happen instantaneously. Where can this happen? Anywhere. Seminars, if you're doing yoga, if you're at the beach, if you're at Barton Springs, if you're in Austin, if you're traveling, if you're on the train, all these things can happen. That catalyst to sexuality is always there. Now, where can we complete it? Where's the best way to completely showcase it and feel it and experience it? Well, that's going to be up to you, for you to determine where can we escalate upon it, all that fun stuff. But seduction, sexuality can happen anywhere. Getting sexual means you, in every moment you're in, you should be able to get sexual and to be being sexual. It should happen. Always, always. 100%, 110%. All right, so how? How are we going to do this? Well, this is the main meat of the program. How are we going to learn to get sexual? How are we going to communicate it? Well, we can communicate it verbally, all right? And there's something called 6-point escalation. A few of you guys know about it. But 6-point escalation is a step-by-step process. It's points on a map of how you arouse, seduce, and move quicker towards sexuality. And it's so clean and so tight. It's an amazing thing. But we can do that in a verbal setting where we're doing it with dialogue. Sometimes, let's say if we're taking a train and we're going from, let's say, Germany to Poland or something like that, we might be on a train and we're sitting next to somebody, we need to have a conversation. How's that conversation going to seduce? How are we going to work 6 points of escalation with that? How are we going to do that at a cafe? How are we going to move along and escalate and get sexual? How are we going to start to get her turned on, her feel it in her body, her pussy to get wet, her to start to feel like a woman, aroused and in that orgasmic state? And how can we move and capitalize on that? Now the next thing is physical, and that's obvious. So how can we do that? Maybe we're in a high stimuli environment, but there's a lot of things happening. It could be a party, it could be a nightclub, it could be a certain type of environment where you know, it could be a dance class or something like that. But there, physical arousal is completely different. Physical arousal actually works very quick, and when we're working the template of 6-point escalation on physical arousal, man, that's where you're going to really start to understand what seduction and the capabilities, the absolutely hardwired, ingrained attributes about seduction are within our physiology, within our brain, and what we were evolved and meant to do, which is to have sex. All right. Now, also, there's emotionally, we have an emotional path towards that seduction, and what that is it's working arousal through the entire makeup of what we feel. So for instance, if I were to elicit my values, which might be what I'm passionate about teaching, I'm passionate about travel, I'm passionate about connecting with people, I'm passionate about seduction, and if someone were to actually tell me, if a female were to tell me, man, that is so attractive, that would be her emotionally stimulating me, arousing me, and escalating upon me. So if I can learn to elicit emotions, you know, especially through conversation with other people, and to find out really what moves them, what makes them who they are, then my levels of sexuality, my experiences of sexuality are going to, 1, be more fulfilling, but 2, that's my path of escalation. If I start stating that I'm turned on by what she truly, truly appreciates, man, who she is as a person, who her makeup is, her decisions that she makes, her passions in life, her total life path, then that's the part of her that I'm going to be having sex with. I can't arouse a superficiality, but I can arouse an emotion. Okay? Now, the last part is her mentality and the psychology of it. How do we arouse people there? And this is actually what old school seduction was trying to accomplish. Okay? It was trying to accomplish a step-by-step pattern where people's decision-making skills moved into, you know, into your bedroom. Now, really, there's a lot of amazing truth to that. What processes, what emotional processes, what decision-making processes do people go through in order to have sex with you? Now, the end goal of all this, I want to really make this clear. Again, it's for you, your entire experience as a man. Your entire person and persona, you being the best possible you, is going to be the absolute catalyst for you turning women on and living your absolute sexual life. You're going to have the best social circles, the best partners, the best relationships, the best interactions with people, and the best friends, all based on you achieving the best mentality, the best outlook, perspective, your achievement of your goals and your sense of self, and the best body you can be in. Sex, seduction is a physical act. We need to get physical. We need to get out there. We need to be getting sexual. The best way for you to find out who you really are as a man, and to move into that natural state of the masculinity that you already have, is to get sexual. That's what the Sexual Life Online is all about. That's what this course is. 3 months, you're going to absolutely change your life. The only thing that I could see keeping you from taking that step into total and absolute self-actualization and the absolute fluid identity communication of being that sexual being is the fear that you don't think you can do it. This course, I guarantee you, will get you to make those changes. You will live the sexual life, and you will be the man that you were meant to be. Thanks for watching, and don't forget about the World Pass Adventure. I want to travel with you. Look into it. And guess what? The guys who are in the Mastermind course, that's what you have to look forward to. Even more of an awesome bonus given to those guys. So thanks for watching. TheSexualLife.com, The Sexual Life Online starts in a few days. Awesome.